What is up, everybody? I am Legend, and in today's episode of Sound Architect, I'm teaching you 4 crazy recording techniques for better vocals and harmonies. Let's go. So I know a lot of you people out there have already probably seen my how to record vocals and harmonies video, so this will be kind of like the part 2 of that video, and there are a lot of techniques that I did not show in that video that a lot of industry artists use to make their songs sound more full, sound better, more professional, and I'm going to be showing you examples of these different techniques in action by some of the biggest artists in the world, from Justin Bieber to Michael Jackson to people like Brandy, you know, back in the day. And speaking of Brandy, she's going to be the first example that I want to show you guys, because the first technique that we're going to talk about today is stacking. Now, I already talked to you guys about how to do 4 stacks for your harmonies and your notes and things like that to give it a more full sound, but this kind of stacking is next level. I'm doing like the bare minimum. Actually, I would say 2 is the bare minimum. I do 4, but some people, they do 8. And then there's Brandy and Darkchild that do 16 stacks. Let me show you this video.
Full moon. Full moon, I worked so hard on full moon, I thought I was gonna die. Rodney had me doing 16 of the first note.
16 stacks of the first note. One single note. She did 16 different recordings for the same exact part. Woo! Try to do 16.
8 of the harmonies.
And 8 of the harmonies.
It was,
the first fullness.
the first note was 16. He was like, you want to be like Michael Jackson? And you want to be an icon? You gotta sing 16 of the first note and 8. And if they didn't like it, I'll have to start all over again. Dang. That's how we came.
That's crazy. 16 stacks of the first harmony, of the first note, and 8 of the harmony. I usually do 4 of all of them, plus 1 lead. But she's talking about 16 and 8. She's talking about Full Moon, and that's going to be the example that I show you guys here today. Full Moon is regarded as the vocal Bible. Her album, Full Moon, this song, Full Moon, everybody, mostly R&B people, anybody who has a background in singing, for the most part, look at Brandy's Full Moon as the biblical vocal presentation. Like, this is the epitome of how vocals should sound on any record. It's got everything you need in it. Due to Rodney Jerkins, Darkchild, who's a very prominent producer, engineer, and he is in a lot of these examples, and that's for a reason. He does a lot of these different things, but there's a reason why he has a whole bunch of hits. So we're gonna take a look at Full Moon. Where is it at? Here.
I ain't even gonna front, I ain't even gonna lie.
That I ain't even gonna front. 16 of those she's singing right here, and then the other harmonies that come in, those are 8 apiece, panned like how I show you guys.
We can dance if you want, get it cracking if you like. Must be a full moon,
Yeah.
feel like one of those nights.
Sounds so good. It sounds so good.
Get it cracking if you like.
Hey.
Must be a full moon, feel like one of those nights.
Yeah, so I mean, that was a very low quality example, but if you really want to dive deep into this professionalism and sounding like how the people in the industry sound, I teach 4 stacks because my computer can't handle more than 4 stacks with the amount of harmonies that I do. But 16 is apparently what some of these industry professionals do. It's a secret that they're keeping to themselves, and I'm here to put it out on blast. So we're gonna look at another example, Rodney Darkchild Jerkins. And he worked a lot on Michael Jackson's Invincible album, most notably You Rock My World. And you'll notice just how full the chorus sounds. It's got so much depth to it, so much fullness to it, but it's because of those, like she said, you want to be like Michael Jackson, you want to be like the greats. 16 stacks of the first note, 8 stacks of the harmony. That's a lot of vocals. It may not sound like it, but it's because it's mixed very well. And that's another thing about this. Like, once you stack, you have to know how to mix, you have to know how to engineer and do all the different EQs and all that stuff. So that the stacking is only part of the struggle. But if you get it right, it can sound like this. The second underrated tool and recording technique that I think people don't really pay attention to is octaves. And what an octave is like if you're singing a note, you're singing it in 2 different registers. So you're singing, I could sing You rock my world, you know you did, and everything I wanna give. And then I can go to the low version of that. You rock my world, you know you did, and everything. And then the high one. You rock my world, you know you did. So it's the same note, essentially, like on the piano. It can be the same note, but it's just a higher octave, this octave, and the lower octave. It's not a harmony per se. It's just the same exact note, just in a different higher register or a lower register. This is something that I do a lot of. I'll show you in my example here, the song called Haunted, which will be out by Halloween, sometime before Halloween. It's perfect timing. But yeah, this song is called Haunted, and it's something that I use a lot of the octave stacking. So a lot of these examples are going to be stacks. So we have the stacking regular and we have the octave stacking. I sing the regular note in the lead vocal, which is right here.
Cause you know that there's a ghost in my house.
There's a ghost in my house.
And I've tried all I can just to get it out.
And then I, of course, stacked that 4 times, the exact same octave. There's a ghost in my house. So it sounds like this.
Cause you know that there's a ghost in my house.
Sounds more full.
And I've tried all I can just to get it out.
But then I thought about if I wanted to add harmonies to that and, like, you know, make it sound like a choir, but it just didn't sound, it sounded like I was doing too much. And oftentimes in these popular songs that are out today, for their choruses, they don't even do harmonies. They just do the octave stacking. It's a very popish thing to do, a very popular song type of thing to do. They keep it simple. They keep it simplified. And that is what drives virality and makes a song popular, because the person listening doesn't have to pay attention to all these different notes. It's like you build up the song and you can do harmonies before the chorus and in the verses and things, but once the chorus hits, you want that to be the most catchy part of the song. So they'll have one voice. Whoever's singing along can sing that one note, so that when you go on stadium tours and you sing it and you hear the song on the radio, you can sing along with it very easily. And so I did the stacking, I did that stacking, but then I added the octave on top, not a harmony, just the octave of the exact same note, higher.
There's a ghost in my house. And I've tried all I can just to get it out.
And then if we hear that with the other octave, the normal octave, it sounds like this.
Cause you know that there's a ghost in my house. And I've tried all I can just to get it.
Sia is a very good example of this. You hear the harmonies right here.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3.
Like everything, there's the harmonies in the lean, the chorus, the pre-chorus going into the chorus. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, and the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's just like it. These are the harmonies right here. But then once it gets to the chorus, watch all those harmonies disappear, and it's just one note blaring through the whole thing. One note. One note. Do the stacking, but do it with the exact same note. So in this case, she would have been from the chandelier, like the so I'm still on. She's like, I'm gonna swing from the chandelier, and I'm going, I'm gonna swing from the chandelier, and then the bass would have been, I'm gonna swing from the chandelier. Like, you know what I'm saying. And there's another example. So Catching Feelings by Justin Bieber. This is one of my favorite songs off of Believe. This is like one of the albums where I became a Justin Bieber fan. I'm not gonna say I became a believer. Please don't. So let's hear this. It's very faint, so you really have to pay attention because I don't have an acapella example. But when he's getting out of the chorus and he's saying catching feelings, you can hear that note, but then you hear a very high catching feelings. Catching feelings. Catching feelings. You hear that, but if you listen to it again, catching feelings. Catching feelings. One more time. But it's mixed well, so you don't hear it, but you do hear it, if that makes sense. Now, since we're talking about Justin Bieber and Believe, I want to go and talk about this example number 3, which is breath. Adding air to your songs. Adding air, not just in terms of like, catching feeling, not just in terms of that, but literally recording stacks of just you whispering the lyrics. Catching feeling. once, 4 times, 8 times, 16 times, however many times it takes. Let me show you this one song that I really want to talk about. Out of Town Girl. You can, if you pay attention, you can really hear how airy the verses are, the pre-chorus, the chorus, all of that stuff.
Hey baby girl, I like your accent.
Hey baby girl, I like your accent. Like, there's no way he can get that much air out of his voice by just singing it like that. It's got so much air in it, and that's because he's not only singing it with the rasp, but he's singing a totally separate track of him just, hey baby girl, I like your accent.
I think I like you more because you're different. Friend.
You have to just really pay close attention, and you can tell that there's a separate vocal, but it's turned down enough to where you can tell he's not just blatantly whispering, but enough that it sounds like it's a part of these actual vocals when it's not. He's recording stacked harmonies, stacked vocals of a whisper by itself and panning it and giving it the same effect that you would normally give a regular vocal. I like it. I haven't used it myself. I tried it once, but it wasn't right for the particular song that I was trying it on. But whispering as a stacked harmony is so underrated, and I think it's something that a lot of us need to use more of. Last but not least, I want to talk about panning your ad-libs, and I couldn't really find a good example of this. I had so many examples in my head before I filmed this video, but I couldn't find any of them. I know a lot of rappers do this. Ryan Leslie is one of them, and I found a very tiny example in this song, Forever My Love. Some artists, they do their ad-libs to where it's coming more out of one ear or coming out of this ear, or they'll play around with it. Like, one ad-lib will come out of this ear only, one ad-lib will come out of this ear only, and it'll just play around. So it's like keeping the listener going back and forth, and it keeps you engaged, keeps you wanting to hear where is it gonna come next. Like, it makes the song more entertaining that way. Now listen to this next part. The high note and then the low note is gonna come a little bit out of the left ear. I don't know if it was by mistake or he did it on purpose, but I mean, he's a professional producer, so I'm sure it was on purpose. But it's like it's coming more out of the left ear. So his lead note, the is coming out of both ears, but then the is only coming out of the left. And a lot of people do this in their singing, in their rapping. They'll have it go left to right, to left to right, to both, to kind of in the middle. I don't know, just all over the place, because again, it keeps the listener engaged and attracted to the song. If you do want to see like a full tutorial of me maybe breaking these down, like, and actually showing you how to do it, let me know down in the comments below. As always, stay legendary, guys. I'll see you in the next video, and I'm out of here.
Forever when you make my life better, go for